Congratulations to the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike McCarthy. He's a former Super Bowl winning head coach for the Green Bay Packers, who defeated my Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys as recent. Um, when I watched his press conference as he was being introduced, I was getting the vibes like it was almost like a retirement uh press conference, the way he was so emotional. If you didn't know any better, you would think, oh man, he must be retiring because he's crying nonstop. He can barely get his words out. But he's very excited to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you could tell this is his dream job apparently. Um, and he was just so overwhelmed with emotions, rightfully so, because these are not small shoes to fill. This is a historic franchise. Um, and of course, I'm being biased, and I'm gonna say it's the greatest franchise in the NFL. So walking in these shoes, there's a high expectation of bringing a Lombardi Trophy here. Now, when I first received the news that Mike McCarthy was going to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie, for several reasons. I felt like the organization was going backwards simply because I think he's very old now. Like, if he's in his 60s, I would think the Steelers will go with some young blood simply because when they got Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher, they were still relatively young, especially Mike Tomlin because he was there for almost 2 decades. So I didn't understand that train of thought. I thought you would go with somebody young and youthful. When you see the success of a Sean McVay with the Los Angeles Rams, you see what Ben Johnson's doing with Chicago, I would think that would be the approach. However, when I watched the press conference, man, I felt a conviction that he really cares, and he had nothing but respectable things to say about not only the organization but Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher, and he just seemed like he's genuinely um accepted the challenge and what comes with the responsibility of trying to change the organization back to getting trophies, so and not settling for like um playoff appearances and not getting through the first round. But all that sounds good, but Mike McCarthy is basically he's the white version of Mike Tomlin, honestly. He's had more weapons offensively than Mike Tomlin, and he didn't get to the Super Bowl but one time and win, just like Mike Tomlin. So that's why I was just like, I don't. And the roster that we have now is nowhere capable of putting up the type of points that um, Mike McCarthy was accustomed to with the Dallas and with the Green Bay Packers offenses. But he did say something that made a lot of sense. He was saying that when the Green Bay Packers won, they had a top five defense, and the Steelers, we do have a championship type defense, and we let the offense down. I mean, the offense let us down in that game against the Texans because they didn't produce any points. There were some interesting questions from the reporters. I like the questions that they asked to really see what state of mind Mike was in. They asked him about a potential reunion with Aaron Rodgers, and he said that Aaron Rodgers is a veteran, and he's at that stage of his career where you have to really decompress and really think about what move you want to make next, simply because the game takes so much out of you, and it's a very emotional game, and the way they lost and the journey that they went on with these expectations of still playing right now, that's a lot to take in. And now you're giving him a new head coach when he had so much respect for Mike Tomlin, and that's the reason why he came to Pittsburgh. That was the sole reason. So he basically said he's open to Aaron Rodgers coming back, and he said that Aaron Rodgers was a great asset to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Excuse me, he was a great asset to the Pittsburgh Steelers this past season. So I thought that was a great answer. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I can't see it, but it will be interesting to see. My expectations this upcoming season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, regardless of what happens in the draft, regardless of who the quarterback is, I don't see us like winning a championship, and I'm really concerned if we can even make the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be interesting to just see what the personnel looks like. It's going to be a long off season. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if DK Metcalf leaves. So it's just a lot that I could see changing because with Mike Tomlin stepping down abruptly the way he did, a lot of those players, played the game a certain way, and their energy and attitude was due to Mike Tomlin. And now that you got a new head coach, um, it's going to be a complete different philosophy. Uh, it's going to be a different type of approach, and that's a lot to take in for players. Especially veterans like Cam Hayward, T.J. Watts, Jalen Ramsey. Just to name a few. And also you have to think about the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, like who the coordinators. All of that plays a huge role in the direction of the Steelers. Now, I think Mike is more polished offensively, Mike McCarthy, than Mike Tomlin. But he also said he wants to run the ball well moving forward too. So that's something that I respect, and I like that approach because I think great things happen when you have a run game. It makes life so much easier, not only on a quarterback, but it takes the pressure off of your defense because you can eat up time on the clock, have time of possession, good things like that. But I'm man enough to admit that I was one of the people out of Steelers Nation. I wasn't feeling this. I was like, heck no. I was saying things like that when I got the news. But when I saw the press conference and saw the passion, I just have to respect the fact that I have to give him the opportunity to see what happens. But honestly, I will say this, though. I don't see him coaching that long. Like, he not finna be there no 10 years. So that's another reason why I'm thinking like, okay, well, he must know there's a sense of urgency to get it done in like a 4-year span, maybe, if they give him that. He's gotta win. I mean, and obviously that's what the Roonies are expecting. So it's just gonna be an interesting it's gonna be an interesting season coming up, and to see how this relationship pans out. Y'all drop a comment, Steeler Nations, and give me your thoughts on this, man. What did you think about the press conference, and what are your expectations moving forward for the Pittsburgh Steelers under the new head coaching regime of Mike McCarthy? If you made this far to the video, I want to say thank you for watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the God Level Genius YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on TikTok, Rumble, Twitch as well at God Level Genius. I am James Vergado, and as always, be God level. The genius is in you. God level genius.